Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our 2:30 streaming show. I'm Jamie French.
And I'm Robinson Miles. Of course, as we end the week today, a lot is going on across the Tri-States. We're going to just go ahead and jump right in. First of all, the Evansville Police Department needs the public's help. Detectives say they're looking for 40-year-old Robbie Harris. Now, officials say she was last seen by her family in 2023.
Yeah, anyone with information is encouraged to call Detective Oakley with EPD. We have their contact information over on 14news.com.
Now, more information coming from law enforcement today, this time from Wayne County, where the sheriff's office says they've arrested 6 people after a lengthy and extensive meth dealing investigation. Deputies arrested Jace Waldrop, Jerry Ewing, and Judy Head, along with Jamie Vaughn, Kyle Hicks, and Nicole Parker.
Yeah, officials say this was a months-long investigation. Several cases were generated, warrants were served. Deputies say all 6 of these suspects are charged with unlawful delivery of meth, with some of those picking up more charges during their arrest.
Now, for our final headline today, we're actually going to switch to some more traffic news. It wouldn't be a streaming show if we didn't have traffic news.
Nope.
So, an alert as part of the ongoing Lloyd for You project. Crews will actually be closing down Teacup Avenue at the Lloyd Expressway overpass. Now, they will be tearing down the eastbound bridge to start putting up the new one. Now, all Lloyd traffic is now in the westbound lanes for this.
Yeah, and crews will close down that area of Teacoppel once school traffic is over this afternoon. There are some detour signs up in the area. I feel like I always have to comment on, traffic and bridge building stories because the work that goes into building a bridge is just beyond me. But taking one down, do you just blow it up and let it fall? So I'm interested to see how they're going to take this bridge down. I mean, you can't really just remove it. You kind of have to destroy it to get it down, right?
Most of my knowledge base comes from Looney Tunes. Where you just hit it with a bigger object and
the bridge just falls, and then you can put up the new one.
It falls over, and then you just go through and you pick it up and you're done.
Maybe we'll see Bugs Bunny out there tonight.
Right? One can hope. That would be a Friday to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Well, moving forward here a little bit, we know stepping outside today, significantly less miserable.
Oh, yeah.
We've got the guy here. Tell us more about that, our beloved Michael Fecca. Now, of course, a lot more happening in the world of news. So be sure to circle back, 14 News 4, 5, 6, and 10.
All right, let's turn things over to meteorologist Michael Fecca because we are so excited to hear about this warm-up. So stick around after the break.
Stay informed on your local news and weather throughout the day by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows. At 8:30 a.m., get your First Alert forecast to plan the day ahead and catch up on the news that happened overnight with the 14 News Sunrise team. In the afternoon, get the latest headlines, forecasts, and a preview of the stories we're working on with the 14 First Alert streaming show at 2:30. And get an in-depth look at the 14 First Alert forecast so you're ready for the next big thing with the 14 First Alert weather show at 9 p.m. Watch the 14 First Alert streaming show that fits your schedule and works best for you. Streaming on your phone by downloading the 14 News app and the 14 First Alert weather app. On your smart TV by using the 14 News streaming app. And stream anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or on 14news.com. Stay connected and stay informed by watching the 14 First Alert streaming shows on your favorite streaming devices.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Now on to the weather portion of our afternoon weather show. We're going to look at our headlines. For starters here, it's a cold, or actually it's warm out there right now, but it is going to become a cold day by the time we get into tomorrow. We had a cold front kind of slide across the tri-state earlier this morning and into this afternoon, but ahead of that front, we warmed up into the lower 40s, but now we're going to be cooling back down into the 20s overnight tonight. So we got a lot of melting out there. We'll likely see some patchy areas of black ice as well as we get into tonight, with those temperatures dropping back down below freezing. So keep that in mind as you drive overnight or early tomorrow morning. But we warm right back up by the time we get into Sunday, and then we're tracking out even warmer temperatures for the start of the work week, topping out in the 50s to near 60 Monday and Tuesday, especially Tuesday. That's where we could see some of those 60s, and then it looks like we'll start to cool back down towards the middle and end of next week with some scattered showers, and the forecast beyond Wednesday does get a little bit messy, so there is a lot of uncertainty for the second half of next week. But we are certain, at least through the first half, it is going to be warm and fairly dry with those showers moving through Tuesday and into Wednesday. But let's get a live look outside right now. We saw a good amount of sunshine for the first half of our day, but we are going to see an increase in that cloud cover through the rest of this afternoon and into the first part of the evening before we start to see those clouds break up again overnight tonight. And it is warm, very warm, at least compared to where we have been. We're actually sitting at around average for this time of year. 43 degrees in Henderson, 44 out towards Madisonville. We're sitting at around 41 in Evansville and in Owensboro. And let's take a look at our current satellite and radar, just get an idea of what's going on out there across the U.S. And again, it is fairly quiet. We have this very weak Clipper system that's pushing to the north of the Great Lakes, and that's swinging in this cold front that we had pass overhead earlier today. And it brought in some rain and snow showers to portions of the Ohio River Valley, but it just missed us to the east. And now we're starting to see this little bit of cloud cover begin to move in from the north as we get into this evening, and then some clearing behind that through the overnight hours, and then high pressure settles in through the weekend, so we'll see more in the way of sunshine, especially for Saturday. But let's get a closer look here. We've got those clouds pretty much moving into areas of southern Illinois and southwestern Indiana. Still seeing a good amount of sunshine here across portions of western Kentucky, but that should come to an end fairly shortly here as those clouds continue to roll in from the north. I've been tracking that all out here through the rest of the night tonight. We should stay dry, and then again, that patch of cloud cover that we're seeing moving in now will start to clear out overnight tonight, and then we should stay dry as high pressure builds in through tomorrow. But temperatures, as I mentioned, while they are warm out there right now, we're seeing a lot of snow melt, but they will drop back down into the 20s overnight tonight with clearing skies. So I do want you to be cautious of some of that black ice, especially on the sidewalks and along the edges of the roads there. That's where you could see some of that ice pile up. And just a quick little explainer here on what black ice is. It's not actually black, but it is so clear and it's so thin that it's actually so hard to see. So especially at night and on roadways where we have a pavement that is colored black, so when you have a very thin layer of ice on top of it and it's clear, it looks black, but you can't really see it at all. It's actually rather transparent. So you want to make sure you're keeping a close eye on that tonight and into tomorrow. Now, the one thing that is working for us here is some of the wind. So it is a bit breezy out there this afternoon. That may help dry up some of that snow melt, so we probably won't see widespread black ice, but you definitely need to be cautious of it overnight and into tomorrow, because we will remain below freezing for our Saturday. We'll only top out in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees tomorrow afternoon, and then we drop back down into the 20s overnight Saturday, but we've got another warm up on the way for Sunday. So the second half of the weekend looks much warmer, topping back out into the lower 40s. But tracking all of this out for you, we'll have high pressure build in here for Saturday that will clear out the cloud cover. We'll see mostly sunny skies out there, and then those clouds increase again headed into Saturday night and into Sunday morning, and then we'll have a mostly cloudy start for our Sunday before we start to see clearing through Sunday afternoon, very gradual clearing at that. But the main story here is going to be that warm-up. So we've got a warm-up here slated for the beginning of the work week that may even continue into the middle of the month. We're looking at above average temperatures here. So here's a look at our 7-day temperature trend. We go from below average tomorrow all the way back up above average by the time we get into Tuesday. So we'll top out in the lower 50s there by Monday, and then by Tuesday possibly reaching 60 degrees, especially across portions of western Kentucky. But we're going to see an increase in that cloud cover with some scattered rain showers moving through later on Tuesday, mainly in the evening hours, and then continuing through Wednesday. Now, the forecast does get very tricky towards the end of next week. We'll have a frontal boundary that's going to kind of drape across the tri-state. So depending on what side we end up on that frontal boundary, if we're on the southern side of that frontal boundary, temperatures will likely continue to stay on the warmer side. If we're on the northern side of that frontal boundary, temperatures will start to cool back down. And that frontal boundary also acts as kind of a railroad or a train track for these areas of low pressure. So we may continue to see chances for some scattered rain showers as we get through Thursday and into Friday of next week. And some models are even pointing out the potential of some wintry precipitation again. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that as we head into next weekend. But that is over a week away, so we don't have many details on that. So it's just something we're going to keep an eye on here for you. But we are looking at above average precipitation here for that same time period that we're going to continue to warm up. So it looks like our best chances for rain are going to be Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then it looks like we'll continue to see those chances as we get into Thursday and Friday of next week. Now I'm going to show you the European model. This seems to show us a little bit more of the messy, rainier solution here. So here we are Monday. We've got high pressure moved off to our east, winds coming up out of the south, so that's what's going to help promote that warm up. And then we've got a warm front that will lift north of the tri-state. By the time we get into Tuesday afternoon and into Tuesday evening, we'll start to see some scattered rain showers spread in across the area, and it looks like we just have that chance for some scattered rain showers throughout Wednesday night, and then again into the day on Thursday before all this clears out Thursday night and into early Friday morning. But depending on where this frontal boundary ends up, if this frontal boundary ends up farther to our south, temperatures will come, winds will come up out of the north, and temperatures will begin to cool back down. However, if this frontal boundary stays right overhead or even a little bit to the north, our temperatures should stay on the warmer side. And then as we get this other area of low pressure, this model wants to point out the potential for some snowfall or wintry precipitation for next weekend, whereas the GFS keeps it all rain. So there is a lot of discrepancy for the second half of next week and into next weekend. But in the meantime, we can enjoy some of this nice, warm, and fairly dry weather through the weekend and into the start of the work week. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast here. I'm going to go ahead and take that full screen for you so you guys can get a better look at it. In the meantime, let me go ahead and check out some of the comments on Facebook. If you guys have any questions for me, please let me know. All right. Let's see. We don't have many questions. Tori says, as long as there's no severe storms with that rain, I am good. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have any sort of really severe weather setup with those showers, but it is just going to be a little bit of an uncertain second half of next week. So we'll be keeping a very close eye on it. Again, but until then, it's going to be fairly dry through the weekend, but kind of bouncing in between the 30s and 40s here for Saturday and Sunday, and then really seeing that warm up take off for Monday and especially into Tuesday, many of us topping out in the upper 50s to possibly even in the lower 60s. So that is exciting. So we'll be taking, a nice day off maybe on Tuesday for that warmth. So that is all I've got here for the forecast. I'm going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 4, 5, and 6 for all the latest news and weather headlines. And of course, we'll be right back here at 9 o'clock tonight on All Streaming for our weather show, and then back on air at 10 o'clock tonight. So we'll see you then.